All right, so I want to do a little walkthrough of the app I created. It's firegroundsim.com, and for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to be explaining the different features on here. I won't go through any actual sims just because I want to keep this as brief as possible and keep it just an overview of the whole app. So you're just going to start off by click Start Training, and then you're brought to 4 simulators that you can go into. You have a full command sim, you have scene size ups, a knowledge tester, and a pump simulator. So for the full command sim, you're presented here with a user configuration screen. So you want to put your department settings here. So we're going to put Virginia Beach. And then on this column here, your unit identifier, whatever you want to designate yourself as. So we're going to put engine 15. When you come to the incident type selection, you choose which of these you want to do a command simulation on. We'll just click single family here. And a cool feature here is you can actually use a real address. So if you have a real address in your first due or a response area or like a high hazard building, you can actually use a Google Street View of that address. It'll superimpose some kind of fire or smoke on the structure, and you can train on that exact structure. However, if you don't put in an address here, they'll just generate a random picture. In the unit matrix here, you're going to put how many units you would normally have responding to that type of call. So we have 4 engines responding to a single family, and then you can call these engines whatever you want, and this is how you will designate them in the app. Ladders, rescues, ambulance, safety officers, battalions, tankers, hazmat. And then if you click on randomized order of arrivals, that just means that the units are not going to arrive all the engines first and then the ladders.
Virginia Beach dispatch to Engine 15, Engine 3, Ambulance 1, Ladder 1, Engine 11, Rescue 1, Engine 20, Safety Officer 1, Battalion 7, Structure Fire, 123 Main Street, Timeout 102, Virginia Beach.
So this is how the app opens up. You're presented with the house. You click the space bar to transmit to the battalion. Engine 15 to Battalion 7.
Battalion 7, go ahead, Engine 15.
Engine 15 is on scene, 2-story residential structure, smoke and fire showing from floor 2. This will be a working fire. You can place Engine 15 in command. We do not have our own water supply. I'll give you an update after my 360.
Battalion 7 copies your size up. You are Engine 15 command. Battalion 7.
Now, as soon as you do your initial transmitting to the battalion, whatever you need to have done, you have to hit start timer. And start timer is gonna tell the AI every so often deliver a unit to mark on scene. So while units are arriving on scene, your directions to those units should be short and punchy. So memorizing the playbooks, you just want to give quick direct commands and then get off the radio so the next unit can arrive.
Engine 3 is on scene.
Engine 3, I need you to assist Engine 15 with fire attack on floor 2, a water supply for Engine 15. And that's it. And then another option
Engine
you can
3
have
copies,
here,
assist Engine 15, floor 2 fire attack.
if you don't have
Ambulance 1 is on scene.
if you don't have a command board that you're writing on, you can pop one out here in the app, resize it where you want it to go, and you can keep track of your unit. So fire attack floor 2, Engine 3 was water supply, and fire attack floor 2, ambulance arrived on scene.
Ladder 1 is on scene.
Now, after all the units arrive on scene, you can queue up the radio as long as you want to make your transmissions, and the units will respond back to you. And they'll also prompt you if enough time has gone by without you making a radio transmission. 50% of these simulations, it knows to throw in a rare event. So it might be a mayday, or it might be some
Engine
sort of
11 is on
structural
scene.
collapse or something like that. So that's the full incident command. The scene size ups, there's no audio or radio during this one. All it does is simply give you a new incident every 30 seconds. You just practice giving your size up, and then the next 30 seconds will come through and you just do another size up. Engine 15 to Battalion 1. Engine 15 is on scene. We got a high-rise building. Fire appears to be in the 6th floor. This will be a working fire. You can place Engine 15 in command. We'll need the next truck in to get the water supply. I'll give you an update when I get into the lobby. Boom. And then as you see the countdown in the top there, once that hits 0, a new image will show up, and you just keep practicing. Sometimes the images won't be house fire. Sometimes there'll be car accidents. There'll be hazmat spills, train derailments. You don't really know what you're going to get. The knowledge tester is a place where you could hypothetically store your SOPs, maybe some medical protocols, whatever it is you want members to train on and quiz on. So you would go in here and you pick your category, whether you want HR policies, FD SOPs, protocols, EMS SOPs, and then you would be taken to a quiz where you can answer questions and it would give you the right answer based on those policies that it has stored. And then the last one is our pump simulator. So this one is just a huge calculator behind the scenes, and you're just manipulating discharges and intakes to play with the math. So you select how many gallons your fire truck has and click start pumping, and you're brought to the pump simulator. And then over on the left side is your tank information. So you have your tank lights like you do on fire engines. 750 gallons is the capacity. Coming across the top, you have your discharge PDP. You have a timer here if you want to see how long it takes to run out of water on certain discharges. And then you also have the GPM flow right here. So we're on tank water right now. I'm going to open up the trash line, and it's set up just like the truck is. So front, then you have the pump panels, then you have the rear discharges. And so for each of these, the discharge can be configured. And I should probably talk about over here is your hydrant information. So these are the different classes of hydrants that we might connect to. It's set at a default 55 PSI. And when you open it up, it tells you what's flowing out of that 4.5 steamer. Or you could use the gated intake, get water in that way. But for purposes of this demonstration, we'll just open up the trash line. I'll show you some options here. So when you open up the trash line, you can start to see we're flowing water. We're losing gallonage. We have our GPM flow up here at the top. So coming down here, you can select which nozzle you're using. You can set your PSI for that line, and it'll give you a warning if you overcharge it. How much elevation you have, so it knows to get the right PSI to the nozzle. And then the duty use. This is how often that line is bail wide open flowing. So if you select continuous 100%, then of course the GPMs up here jump to 182 gallons per minute. And so we can just dial down our PSI right in the sweet spot of 160 gallons per minute. And over here, any discharges you have open, it breaks down the math. So you can see your PSI, you can see your GPMs, and you can always check the math, which is the most important. You can check your math right here. So it's a way to test what you can flow versus what you can bring in, how quickly you might run out of water, how the pump reacts. Just an example, we'll open up the front suction now, and that should be enough to overcome the discharge that's opening as it is, and you start to see the tank fill even though the trash line is open. So that's a little bit how the pump simulator works. Everything here is still a work in progress. I'd love to get this out to more people to test it and give me some feedback.